Alright, this is Mrs. Jones. This is the basic math application for welding and machine technology. On this you have a blueprint here, and then you're asked to find A, B, C, D, E, and F. I'm going to try to walk through some of these to help you out. We did adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions right before we left in class. So I'm going to cover this up right here. Here's A. And how would you use these other measurements to find A? What I like to do is take the fractions completely out of it and replace them with other numbers just to get an idea. And I just made those up. But if they were 10, 3, and 4, how would you find A? Well, you would add these two together, and then you'd subtract it from 10, and that would give you this missing piece. So with the fractions, you're going to add those two together, 17/32 and 11/16, and you're going to subtract it from 1 3/4, like that. That section, that's A. B, let's look at B. Where is B at? B is right here. Okay, so this little 3/16 is pointing to this piece. And then if we use, you kind of have to use the other side of the diagram. And I know that you guys really haven't done a lot with blueprints yet, but see that 17/32? If we extend this line over here, this 17/32 would also be from this distance, so that's 17/32. And then, do we know this little piece? Well, yeah, we do know this little piece because we need to look to the other side of the diagram, and this little piece is 3/16. So to find B, we would add all three of these sections together. So we would add 3/16, 17/32, and another 3/16. 3/16, 17/32, and another 3/16. And we're getting those measurements from over here on the other side of the diagram. There's B. C. Where is C at? C is right here. Okay, so let's look. Maybe cover this part up. So we know that this is 7/16 right here, this whole distance. Do you see that? That's 7/16 over here would be the same distance here, right? But we know this little piece, because it's covered up, that little piece is 3/16. So if we take this 7/16 and subtract off that little hunk, that will give us C. So for C, all you're going to do is take 7/16 minus 3/16, and that's going to give you the value of how large C is. Okay. D. D is this long piece over here. D goes from the center of this hole to the outside of the part. This 15/32 deals with these little teeny tiny holes, but this 9/16 right here is the center to center distance of each of these larger holes. That's how you would read that. So this would be 9/16 right here between the holes. This would be another 9/16, another 9/16, another 9/16, 9/16. And then we would have to add on, because D goes the whole way to the end of the part, we would have to add on the 9/32 and the 1/4. Okay? So, but I don't want to add 9/16, 9/16, 9/16, 9/16, okay, because that's intensive. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. So if we take 9/16 times 5, and then add on our 9/32 and our 1/4, that will give us the length of D. E is right there also, and it is from the center of this little hole to the end of the part. So I said earlier that this 15/32 is from the center of the little hole to the center of the next little hole. So, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. So we can do 15/32 times 7. And then that would bring us to right here, and we'd have to add on this extra quarter. So our problem is going to look like this. 15, sorry. 15/32 times 7 of those. And then we're going to add on our quarter. And that will give you the length of E. F. There's a couple ways you can do F. F is right here, and it's the center to center distance from these first holes here, okay? What I think that most students would do, how they would do this, is they would take this 2.5, because this 2.5 goes the span of all 4 holes, and they would, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in between that 2.5. So if we could do 2.5 divided by 4, that will give us what each one of these little sections are. So we would do 2.5 divided by 4. And if that gives us what one section is, if we look at our F is talking about 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. We would just multiply this answer by 3. Okay? I hope this helps you understand this layout problem with the blueprint and the fractions. Again, we did fractions right before we left. And remember, if you're going to do them by hand, when you add and subtract fractions, you need to have a common denominator. When you multiply or divide, you need to make sure that you turn all of your mixed numbers into improper fractions. All right? Thank you. Have a great day.